Howdy, Jacob here. Today we're going to be going over next company in our dividend yield stock screener, and it is Bassett Furniture Industries, ticker symbol BSET. We are seeing a 4.4% yield, and let's see here. So, $143 million market cap, very small. The good news, though, enterprise value 77 million, so a lot more cash equivalents on deck than debt, than their long-term debt. So that's the reason that it drops $66 million. So that's a positive. Price to book 0.8, pretty solid for a company if they're still growing and everything. 24 PE. Let's see why that is. Okay, looks like they just dropped a little bit. Revenue dropped quite a bit in the last year. Cash flow even negative last year. Interesting. So beside this 33 million, they've been spending quite a bit. They've been spending, I guess, pretty consistently on maintaining their business through property, plant, and equipment reinvestment. Pretty negative change in working capitals and other. We'll have to see what that is whenever we end up looking at their 10Ks and 10Qs. But yeah, this looks pretty solid. So Benjamin Graham loves looking at tangible assets. And so when you remove, other intangible assets, the goodwill, which is pretty much just overpaying on capital assets when you acquire companies. If you take total current assets plus property, plant, and equipment, we get 372 million. They have 211 total liabilities. So that would be about 161 million, which is more than the market cap. So really they have more tangible assets than all of their liabilities, which isn't necessarily, a thing to buy it or not buy it. It's really just a safety measure of having assets to back up your investment, so that if things don't go the way you might think, then at least they have the assets and cash on hand to help mitigate some of those problems. But I guess we can start to make some assumptions here. So I mean, pretty decent growth. Like they got shot down during COVID, which makes sense. They sell furniture and hold furniture for other companies that need warehouse space. But I mean, I could see this be one of my classic 3 and 13 estimates, where presume 3% growth on revenue and then terminal P of 13, because I don't really see a need for a premium anywhere that I'm looking. 15% yield. And then let's look at margins here. So margins, they went up to 60 for a bit, back down to the low 50s. So that's fine. No trend really there. 3.1, kind of all over. You gotta, take 2019, 2020 grain of salt, I guess. Otherwise, fairly consistent. Let's see what we have over here. So if we exclude that, let's see. I mean, three and three. I might try 3.53 share change. Looks like they have been buying back shares pretty consistently. Greater than your share-based compensation. So I mean, I could see them buying back. Yeah, let's do 1.5%. Um, yeah, so I think that's a fair assumption. Let's look at the dividend yield. So paying out 6 million. I mean, I think that's fine given how much cash they have on hand, given how much earnings they've made in the past, making upwards of what do we have here 26, 18 million. So I think that's fine, but I wouldn't feel super confident in raising it. So yeah, I think although I think 72 cents is not going to have them go under or anything because of all the cash they have on hand. They can definitely afford it, even if there were a couple down years for the business. I think the business is cyclical enough where the up years will make up for the down years in paying out this dividend. So I do think it's a fairly safe dividend, and the company is pretty solid. I mean, it's very small, but it's been around for quite some time. Um, so there'd be a lot of reports to look at if we if it got to a price that really started screaming, "Hey, we're pretty cheap here." So I don't know. Right now, I'm still feeling like these assumptions are pretty fair, and it still needs to drop 22% to get to the yield over the next 7 years of 15% annual effective. But again, I think this would be a great company to put on your list to do some more research on, and to once it gets to a prettier price, maybe take some action on it. But all right, I hope that everyone has a good rest of their day. Thank you.